Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's another Premier League prediction show that's upon us. Another round of this time midweek fixtures to contend with. Some big games throughout the entirety of the table as we edge closer to the midway point of the season. And of course, within this video, I'm going to be analysing and predicting all of the upcoming games in the next round of fixtures within the Premier League. Match day 17. I believe, of the season. But before we go any further in talking about all the games coming up, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get into the predictions. Alright, so kicking things off, we have got one of Tuesday night's games, which is of course Brentford taking on Manchester United. Before I go any further in talking about this game though, I would like to point out the possibility that this game could be postponed due to the COVID outbreak that Manchester United have suffered since their last game, which was against Norwich. There had been a bit of a COVID outbreak at United with all the reports and everything coming out since that game. And it's being said that this game might be suspended, postponed, should the crisis there get any worse. But as of right now, it is going ahead. So we are going to be talking about this game. Both sides came out as victors in their last game, with Brentford leaving it late, but eventually beating Watford on Friday night by 2-1, whilst United continued the Ralph Rangnick era in winning style with a 1-0 victory over Norwich. It's an interesting game, this one. Brentford's form has been a little bit inconsistent as of late, but still going pretty well with all things considered within England's top flight division. They've come up against the United side who weren't entirely convincing against Norwich, or with all things considered, but still managed to get the victory nonetheless, albeit from a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty. Brentford could possibly be without a couple of key players for this game, but their workhorse-like mentality of every single player within that squad may give United some food for thought going forward. United should be winning this game on paper, but I'm actually going to say that Brentford gets something from this game, and I'm going to be predicting a 1-1 draw here. Dean Smith takes on Steven Gerrard as Norwich clash with Aston Villa at Carrow Road. Both sides lost their last games and lost by the same scoreline of a 1-0 in their last encounters, with Norwich losing to Manchester United, whilst Villa lost to Liverpool. It's an interesting game, this one, between two sides who are early into life under new managers. Both sides have shown very early signs of improvement and change under their new managers, and it's going to be a very intriguing battle going forward between a Norwich side that are obviously battling relegation and a Villa side who are looking to move up the table into a comfortable mid-table to slightly above normal mid-table sort of era. I'm backing Villa to get the win in this game. I just think that they may have too much quality, particularly within the attack, to really trouble Norwich in this game. And that's why I'm going to say that Steven Gerrard's side get the 3 points here with a 2-1 victory. Next up, Manchester City host Leeds at the Etihad. City were victors last time out when they beat Wolves 1-0. Whilst Leeds put up a spirited performance against Chelsea, but ultimately came out on the losing end as the Blues beat Leeds by 3-2. City will be looking to maintain their top of the table status, of course, after this game against a Leeds side who will be wanting to put more of a gap between themselves and the drop zone. Leeds gave Chelsea a run for their money in their last game at the weekend. Do they have enough in the tank to put further challenge and trouble Manchester City in this game? I think with the wealth of options, talent and quality that is available to Pep Guardiola at his disposal for this game, and obviously for many other games after and before this, I think City should be winning this game and will actually win this game. I'm going to say that this game will end 3-1 in favour of Manchester City. Next, we move on to Wednesday's games, and first up, we have Brighton taking on Wolves at the Amex Stadium. It's been a while since we last saw Brighton in action, of course. Their last game was meant to be on Sunday against Tottenham, but of course that game got postponed because of Tottenham's COVID outbreak. The last time we saw Brighton in action was against Southampton, where a late Neil Maupay goal rescued a point for the Seagulls. Whilst for Wolves, They put up a spirited 10-man performance against Manchester City, but ultimately came out on the losing end, losing by a goal to nil against Pep Guardiola's side. Another intriguing game ahead, this one. A Brighton side who haven't won in their last 10 games, but only have lost twice during that time period. Come up against a Wolves side who have had a very tricky run set of fixtures, but haven't scored in their last 4 games. Will the extra few days allow Brighton time to recover and help them in being the more alert and alive and energetic towards the game, or will it be a difficult and slow restart for them, having had that bit more lengthy time off? It makes it all a difficult game to call, which is why I'm going to call it right down the middle, go for a draw, and say that this game will end 1-1 come the final whistle. Next up, we're at Turf Moor for Burnley versus Watford. Burnley drew 0-0 with West Ham on Sunday, whilst Watford came out on the losing side of a 2-1 scoreline against Brentford. Two teams battling relegation clash here. It could be a big game in the outcome of a relegation scrap. The Clarets will be tough opposition. We know how they'll play, as they usually do, whilst Watford will be relying particularly on the good form in recent weeks of one Emmanuel Dennis to help them claim their first victory in 4 games here. A draw between these two sides is certainly possible and probably the most likely result, in all honesty, but I actually think that Watford may just have the edge here and may just be able to get the victory in this game, and that's why I'm backing the Hornets to win 2-1. Next, Palace clash with Southampton at Selhurst Park in our next fixture. Palace got back to winning ways in their last game when they beat Everton by 3-1, while Southampton were beaten by Arsenal by 3-0. It's another interesting game in store for us that is going to pit together Palace, who of course will be buzzing from their last victory, getting back to winning ways in great fashion against Everton, having the in-form Conor Gallagher ready and raring to go again against the Southampton side that of course have been hit with a number of injuries and big players missing that have been struggling in recent weeks, and of course that bad defeat to Arsenal on Saturday will obviously still be stinging for them. On paper, this should be a Palace victory. It is going to be my prediction, but I'm just saying don't rule out Southampton entirely from getting at least something from this game. But of course, the safe bet and my prediction is going to be on a Crystal Palace victory, and that is why I am going to go 2-0 to Palace. Alright, now we've got a London derby to talk about. It is Arsenal against West Ham. It's at the Emirates Stadium. It's going to be a feisty encounter between these two on Wednesday night, I hope, and I'm pretty much sure it will be. Arsenal were victors last time out. They beat Southampton by 3-0, getting back to winning ways, whilst West Ham drew 0-0 with Burnley. It's a big game in store, this one. The Gunners took advantage of a weakened Southampton side on Saturday to get back to winning ways, but of course the pressure will only intensify once again on manager Mikel Arteta should he not pick up a victory in this game. And now, of course, they are coming up against a West Ham side that have took many points this season, and have also taken points of some of the bigger clubs in this league, the likes of Liverpool and of course Chelsea more recently, of course, have all fallen to West Ham so far this season. But West Ham have been hit with some fitness and injury issues as of in recent weeks, so Arsenal do have something to go off there. The Gunners always have the potential to turn up, play well and get a result, but they aren't the most reliable. Whilst a draw could always be possible too, I actually think the Hammers will get a victory here. I'm actually going to back the Hammers in this game, and I'm going to say that David Moyes' side come out as 2-1 victors in this game. Our next game would be Leicester versus Tottenham. It is scheduled to be taking place on Thursday. However, it's likely that after Tottenham's weekend game against Brighton on Sunday was postponed due to the COVID outbreak that Spurs have been hit with within the past week, it's very much likely that this game will also follow suit in being postponed here. So with that being said, I won't be giving a prediction for this one. Our penultimate game on this list features a return to Stamford Bridge for one Rafa Benitez as his Everton side travel away to London to face Chelsea. Chelsea were 3-2 winners last time out against Leeds United, whilst Everton lost 3-1 to Crystal Palace. Big game in store, of course. It's a game that on paper Chelsea should be winning. They should be taking advantage of an Everton side in all sorts of turmoil right now. And of course, it is very much likely that the Blues will, of course, get the 3 points. However, never rule out a Rafa Benitez side. Never rule out a Rafa Benitez side from going to Stamford Bridge, a place where he'll probably want to prove a point, given how things ended with his reign as manager there many years ago, and just absolutely grinding out a result in that game. A boring draw or whatever it may be. Don't ever rule that out from Rafa Benitez or one of his sides. However, the safe bet is on a Chelsea victory, and I am going to say that Chelsea do come out of this game as victors, and I'm going to say it's going to end 2-0 to the Blues. And finally, we come to the game that rounds off this round of midweek fixtures. Thursday night, we'll see Liverpool take on Newcastle at Anfield. Liverpool continued their winning run last time out with a 1-0 victory over Aston Villa thanks to a Mohamed Salah penalty, whilst Newcastle suffered a very, very bad result against Leicester City as the Foxes ran out as 4-0 winners over the Magpies on Sunday. Look, let's be honest, this one has a Liverpool victory written all over it. The Reds have been in fine form, and obviously it should continue here. If they can rediscover their scoring touch as well at the same time in which they were putting 3, 4, maybe even 5 past teams already this season in this game, then it could be a very, very, very long night for everybody associated with Newcastle United. However, in saying that, like always, anything is possible in the Premier League, so we can't immediately rule out the possibility of Newcastle picking up some sort of result here, however unlikely that may be. Just maybe, everything falls into place, the stars align, and maybe Newcastle get a decent result here. Wishful thinking, being overly cautious, we just have to throw it out there as a possibility. The Magpies have got a very tough run of fixtures coming up, and of course, going up against Liverpool, they don't come much tougher in this league. And that's why, despite the fact that Liverpool can't take this game for granted and must exercise a little bit of caution going into this game, the Reds should be victors here. And that is why they're my pick to win. And I'm going to say it finishes 3-0 to Jurgen Klopp's side. But of course, as I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this upcoming round of midweek Premier League fixtures that's coming up? What do you make of the games? What are your own predictions? Because that's obviously the main point of this video. What are your main predictions for this upcoming round of Premier League fixtures? Also, fantasy football managers, who do you see having a good week? Who do you see having a bad week? Who are you putting into your squad? Who are you taking out of your squad? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments and opinions on all of that as well. But most of all, of course, your predictions will make, I'm sure, for interesting reading down below in the comments section. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video.